To bring in Karl Eggerss, who is waiting by the CME, and he's with Laffer Fishberg. And Karl, what do you make of these bank results we got this morning?
Well, this could possibly be the best time on earth ever to be in the banking business. I mean, we've seen almost 100 banks go under just this year in '09. And I think that just helps out the Wells Fargo's, the Bank of America's. They're able to borrow cheaply, lend more. Obviously, a lot of these banks have taken advantage of trading so far. They haven't been lending, but they've been taking advantage of trading.
Right, but Karl, there is that big but that Leo Tillman was pointing out, which is that, yes, they're making gobs of money right now, but it's all at a time when the government is basically giving them all this money, and they're
And this is the biggest bank story. The regional banks are still in a tough spot. KeyCorp is another example of that this morning with lousy results.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously, Karl talking about net interest margins. Obviously, if you can borrow cheap and loan up here, you're going to make money. He's right. It is the best time. But Karl, is it going to continue to be the best time? What about Q4? What about Q1? Especially if at some point rates go up.
Well, look, the people that have a lot of fixed income instruments right now, I think, are highly vulnerable to rates going up. But what we're not seeing is we're still not fully discounted the economic recovery. This economy is going to get better. Those banks are going to do better. Now, I am worried in the second, third, fourth quarter of next year that all the stimulus will start to fade off, and we're going to get back to lethargic growth in the U.S. of maybe 1%. This is a global economic story. It's not just a U.S. economic story, but the U.S. is going to be very lethargic for years, I believe.
So you'd buy now, sell later? Is that what you're saying?
Precisely. Now, I do think in the very short run, you are seeing somewhat of a rotation out of things like tech, which has been lagging a little bit the last few days, and going into energy and ag, which they had been kind of weak as far as the ag space. You're starting to see some rotation, which that's what good markets do, obviously, is rotation comes in. There's not money coming out of the market. It's just simply moving around. But I'm still bullish over the next 3 months or so because I think the economy is going to be much better than people think, simply because of all the stimulus. People argue, well, what if we didn't have the stimulus? Well, we do. We have unprecedented amounts. We have it simultaneously around the world, and we don't know the long-term effects of that. I think it's going to be bad long-term.